Good afternoon, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. 2:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday. Time to get away from that desk. Time to get some movement in. Now, before we get started, if you guys have anything that you feel needs a little bit of extra love or a little bit extra stretching, a little bit extra movement, feel free to drop it into the chat. Got a pretty solid routine planned here today, but always open to suggestions. What we went through earlier in exercise with Exos, lots of shoulders, I was mainly feeling the shoulders. That was about it, but we'll be getting into a lot of other stuff. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat. We'll go ahead and get started. Feel free to drop anything. If you guys get inspired, I'll keep my eye out for it. All right, so what we're gonna do is start in standing. So coming up to a standing position just with some space around us, probably most likely been sitting today, neck and shoulders. Awesome. Yeah, we're about to get right into that. So probably been sitting a lot today, which means we eventually probably kind of got onto, having our head stoop forward, slouching a little bit, having those shoulder blades come away from each other. So what we're going to be doing is starting with some backwards shoulder rolls. So all we need to do is plant those feet about hip width or shoulder width apart. Let those arms relax down by our sides. Now give your glutes and the core muscles a little bit of a squeeze just so the rest of the spine doesn't go anywhere. And we can start by bringing those shoulder blades together in the front. So we'll bring those shoulder blades together in the front, let them shrug up near the ears, roll them kind of back over the top, and then let them slide down into our back pockets and come back into a neutral position. So as we start, we can be a little bit slower, try and draw the biggest circle you possibly can with those shoulders, breathing as we go. And then you can start to maybe speed it up just a little bit if you'd like, loosening up some of that tissue. We're staying nice and tall here, making sure that the shoulders are the only thing moving, kind of about the spine and rib cage. Everything else is solid in its place. Breathing as we go. Again, trying to draw the biggest possible circles with those shoulders. Really emphasize that sliding down on our backs here into the back pocket. Make sure those shoulder blades are sliding as low as they can go. All right, guys, 2 more here. Stay breathing. Last one here. Big circle with those shoulders. Nicely done, guys. Give those shoulders a little bit of a shake too. Hopefully they're feeling a little bit looser. All right, next up, there was a lot of shoulders earlier in Jazzy's workout. Even if you weren't there, this will probably be good for just overall shoulder health. So with those feet planted about shoulder width apart, I'm gonna take my right hand, reach across the body here. Left arm is gonna come outside of that right arm, pull it in towards my body. And we're looking for a slight amount of tension, outer backside of that shoulder there. So as we get into this stretch, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. What we want to make sure is that those shoulders aren't way up near the ears. So take a deep breath, exaggerate that exhale, and let those shoulders fall away from the ears as we hug that right arm in here. Make sure to breathe as we go. And if you're not feeling as much tension as you maybe want, try pull that right shoulder blade back towards the spine a little bit. This should kind of give us a nice little pull from the other end with that shoulder blade. We're gonna stay breathing here. Just loosening up the back of that shoulder there. All right, final breath. Nicely done, everybody. All right, we can slowly release the tension on that arm, let it kind of fall, shake it out. We're gonna do the same thing other side now. So that left arm is gonna come way across our body. We are gonna use that right arm, hook around that left arm, maybe around the elbow, hug that left arm in close to the chest. Take a nice deep breath, let those shoulders fall away from the ears here. And we're just looking for some tension in the outer kind of back part of that shoulder that we're pulling on. Make sure no other part of the body is twisting. Just breathing into that shoulder tension. And like the other side, we can kind of move the shoulder blade a little bit too if we want to exaggerate the stretch. So think pull that shoulder blade back. Don't let that left arm go anywhere. Should get some more tension there. Good work, you guys. All right, final breath coming up here. Nicely done. We can release the tension on that left arm, bring it down, give it a little shake if we need to. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, staying standing here, we're gonna do a bit of a dynamic hamstring stretch. Now, you guys are all probably by now familiar with the good old forward fold. However, we're gonna make it a little bit different this time. So bring this down so you guys can kind of see what I got going on here. So where I'm standing, instead of standing nice and even with my toes, about at an even level, imaginary free throw line right in front of me, what I'm going to do is step forward slightly with my right foot. So where my toes on my left foot are at are about mid-foot for my right foot. So not a big gap here, not even any space between the feet horizontally. What we're going to do now is do a forward fold. Now remember, we want to keep those headlights pointed forward. First time you're going to do this, you might want to twist a little bit because those feet are not planted in the same place. However, we're going to keep both knees locked out, push those hips back nice and far, and just go down as far as you comfortably can. And then we'll bring those hips back under a stand all the way up. So this one's a little bit more dynamic. We're not going to hang out in it at all. We just want to focus on keeping those hips nice and square, pointed in the same direction as both toes on our feet. We're just moving in and out of it. Just brief momentary stretch. Should be exaggerated on that right side if your right toes are forward more. We're just trying to push the hips back as much as we can to create some room for our body to come down here. So big focus on that right side. Keep those hips nice and square. I know they're going to want to twist. Let's do 2 more here. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, nicely done. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So we can move that right foot back, scoot that left foot forward just a little bit. Right toes are right about mid-foot for my left foot here. Same deal. Let's try and keep those hips nice and square, nice and pointed forward as we push them back. Exaggerating that left hamstring stretch here. We're just getting it in dynamically, stretching for a moment, and then coming back up out of it. So just go as far as you feel comfortable with going today. If it's really, really intense, be easy on yourself. Nicely done, you guys. Remember, we're pushing those hips straight back. Notice if you're feeling one side go back or one knee bend. Just trying to dynamically focus on that left side. All right, 2 more. Pushing the hips back and up, pushing the hips back, and then we're back up. Nicely done, everybody. All right, hopefully the hamstrings are feeling a little bit looser after that. I know it's been a rough week for my hamstrings. They are super, super tight. All right, last thing that we're going to end with, Jazzy Chadwick special, AKA the Bretzel. So what we're gonna need to do, guys, is get down onto the ground here, find some space. Feel free to grab something if you would like your head to be supported during this. I typically recommend it, although it is not a must. So I'm gonna start by laying down on my right side. What we're gonna do here, guys, is let that, if we're laying on our right side, that left knee is gonna come up to about hip level here in front of us. We're gonna take that bottom hand, that right hand, rest it on top of that knee or the outside of the thigh there. From here, what we want to do is take that left hand, that's going to connect with our right foot. Now, if you can't reach, using a hand towel or something like that usually helps us kind of extend our reach a little bit. Doesn't make us, have to bend ourselves out of proportion here. So we're going to grab onto that right foot or ankle with our left hand. And from here, we want to keep that front knee on the ground, pull that right heel in towards our glute. Take a deep breath, twist and open up towards the ceiling. And as always, the goal is to try and get that top shoulder onto the ground. I'm not there yet. takes a while to get, I'm assuming. So we're just working on it today, seeing how much we can open up through the spine here. Looking to comfortably breathe, stretch out those quads too of that right leg. Once you find this position, just breathe. Good work, everybody. Good work. One more big breath. Nicely done, you guys. All right, let's start by slowly releasing that back foot. Release that right foot nice and easy. We can turn ourselves all the way to lay on our right side. You can let go of that right, the right knee or the right quad here. I'm gonna switch myself around so you guys can see my front side, but you guys can feel free to flip on over if that's easiest for you. All right, so lying down on my left side now, it's basically gonna be the same thing, but mirrored. So that top leg is that right leg now. Left hand is going to rest on top of that right quad or that right knee, the side at least. Back leg is going to bend. I'm gonna hook my foot or my ankle up in there using my right hand. Again, a hand towel may be more feasible for where you're at today, that's all right. And from here, what we wanna do is keep that front knee on the ground, twist, open up towards the ceiling, trying to put that back shoulder as close to the ground as we can get it. And so once we find some good tension here, guys, we're just breathing through the torso. Trying to expand that rib cage as much as possible through that inhale. Good job, you guys, good job. Relax into that tension. All right, final breath coming up here. Nicely done. So on that last exhale, we can start by releasing that left foot nice and slow. Taking our hand off that front leg. And now we're kind of just back on our sides here. You guys can push yourselves up to sitting, roll onto your back, get up in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And that will conclude this movement session today. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget, as far as live offerings for the rest of this day go, we have abs and core / mobility with Brittany at 4:30 p.m. Don't miss out on that one. Always a good opportunity to use, tools like lacrosse balls and foam rollers in there, possibly, and also get a solid core workout, which we all know is great for the spine. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Take care, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next time.
Thanks, Luis.
Yeah, thanks, Luis.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.